manufacturer and distributor of structural insulated panels. Save energy, time, and labor with SIPS. Our business hours are from 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. If you know your party's extension, please enter it now. For accounting, press 207. For sales, press 1. For Michael Natupsky, press 274. For CAD design, press 288. Press 0 or hold for an operator. FischerSIPS.
Hi, sir. Just a quick question. What is the warranty on your SIP panels?
There's a lifetime warranty against delamination.
Lifetime? Okay. I have a serious issue with the SIP panels. Our house was built with SIP panels, and it is rotting for at least 6 years now that I just discovered. But the worst case is that we have mold in the house. I have child, 2 elderly people, and myself. And we're getting intoxicated in this house. And we had issues before with a builder. And Mike Neptunsky was also involved to come over and look at the issue before the house was furnished and all the interior work was completed. So now we're paying a huge price for this. Because
this is Michael Natupsky, and I never did come to look at it before. And I remember you talking to me before about mold in your crawl space, but that's a design issue. That's not a SIP issue.
No, you don't know where the mold came from, the rot. And the floor panels started the rot because they were exposed to weather, and they were when they were installed, they warped. So they were already deteriorating. But FischerSIPS representatives came on site, and they did not replace them, of course, because there was a lot of work done. They just sent it off where it was warped.
Mm-hmm.
But I already got through it. And so we are right now losing our home, which was built, final inspection was in 2015. So what can you do?
What's your problem?
Like I said, we have a rotten house. It's rotting. The floor's rotten. The floor panel, the SIP panels on the floor, they are rotten from the bottom up. And we already saw rot in interior spaces as well. We replaced...
We're not going to warranty the panels against rot. Those panels have been installed for 10 years.
But they have life warranty, right? They have life warranty, right?
Against delamination. You understand what I mean when I say delamination?
Not exactly. You can just explain that to me.
Okay. So that means that the panels will not separate from the EPS. Yeah, and you called me some years ago about that, and you didn't pay our installer, and it's been a problem from the very beginning. And you didn't have an architect design that house; you designed it yourself, and it's a poor design.
Well, it was approved by you. We just gave you sketches.
No, we don't approve designs.
Yeah, we gave you.
We just take what you draw, what you drew down on paper, and we draw it for the panels.
Yeah, we gave you the sketches, the layout.
Yeah.
But you did the rest. And then talking about your representative, Mr. Larry Cabaniss,
He's not a representative of ours.
He is.
No, he's not.
Because
You asked for an installer, and so I gave you his name.
he is, what is this called? He's your dealer, isn't he?
Nope.
Because when we called, because here in Virginia, nobody worked with this material. So when we called, you give us reference. Otherwise, how would I know that Mr. Cabaniss is the one to put them up? So
Are you saying it's his fault that there's mold?
Well, it's a process. We can look into that in great detail, actually. But you accuse me for not paying him third installment. You know that, right? So
You didn't pay him his $5,000.
right. So let me tell you more about that issue. He messed up in so many ways, and he didn't complete the roof.
Maybe you need to call him instead of us.
It's both. It's both, because the SIP panels were already warped when they were installed, and somebody should have paid attention then and tell us, well, we need to demolish and reinstall a whole new panels because they were exposed. Now, Mr. Larry,
Because then you take them down, you put the new panels in, and it rains tomorrow, and then they get warped again.
so they do warp, right? And that means because it is OSB,
When wood gets wet,
OSB,
it warps.
right? So that because
It's made out of wood.
yes, and the way the panels are made, they take the moisture and everything, all this microorganism inside of those panels because of foam in between. So it was already not good from the start. Now, the reason why they were exposed to moisture is, of course, not your fault, because Mr. Cabaniss came over here, opened them, had them exposed, and then...
Fault either. I mean, it's going to rain.
Right, he exposed them, but let me tell you some more that you may not know, because I know you think you're right now taking his side, but I'll tell you more that you don't know. First of all, I won that case because the judge sided with me, and he said, you have to finish the job to get the money paid out. He didn't. He just left a lot of errors on there, and my father is not an architect. That's why we hired him. Next thing is that
He's not an architect either.
he is a builder A contractor. So when he told...
Not an architect.
He is a builder.
A builder is not an architect.
No, I know the difference. He's a builder who was putting these panels in place. Architect only designs. So he told us that he's going to run this project within 2 weeks, right? It wasn't that difficult.
Yeah, but then you need to say that to him.
I will. Because there's three things going on here. I'll tell you.
If you listen, you got your $5,000. You already won your case. So why are you calling me?
Because everything that could go wrong did go wrong. For example, like he was supposed to show up with a crew of people.
That was him.
Okay.
That was him.
Yes.
Call him.
I'm going to, but right now I'm asked because the panels were warped, and when you came on site, you did not do anything.
I was never there.
Okay.
I was never there.
But you seem to know me. You seem to know who you're talking to right now.
Because I talked to you on the phone, but that doesn't mean that I was there.
Okay, somebody
That's
did
a
though.
lie.
Somebody did come, and they look at those warped floors, and all they did was they sent it off. One panel was even different thickness.
That's all that needs to be done.
I think there's more to it because it was already exposed to moisture, and the rot began there, where those panels are.
Anytime you build a house, it's going to be exposed to moisture because it rains.
Correct. That's why they need to be...
Every house. Every SIP house, every stick frame house, every house gets exposed to moisture. Every one.
I know that.
Exception.
I know that. But
Unless you're building in the desert.
But we have SIP panels in here. If there would be just wood, it would just dry out, expand, and contract. Whereas SIP panels just takes all this moisture, and then over years, it started to rot. and we live in this house, and we lose in this house. And Mr. Cabaniss did a lot of bad.
There's something else going on, and I think it's your mold that's in your crawl space.
We don't have. No, we didn't have mold in the space.
If you didn't vent it, well, when you called me a few years ago, you said you were getting mold in the crawl space. And I told you got to vent the crawl space, and you didn't vent your crawl space.
Can you support this?
That's why.
Can you documentally support that? Because I don't remember mold in the crawl space.
Well, where's the mold now?
In air duct. And there is mold also in the house, in the furniture. Yeah, the mold is also in the house, in the furniture. And my father...
That's not in the SIP panel.
It is, because...
If it's in your HVAC and it's in your furniture, then that's not because of the SIP.
This is not funny, because, see, the rot causes the mold. And my father already tried to repair what he could, and the floors the SIP panels are rotten in interior spaces, rotten. If you have moisture and rot, you're gonna have mold. It's just typical. It's science. You can look it up, by the way. But we replaced where we could interior side of SIP panel because that's rotten. This is just the quality of product that you sell. But I thought I'll call you first to see if I can find any solutions, because God only knows we are in so much distress right now. We're losing our home. We're losing all the value of this home. I'm trying to save what I can from the house, and we're also intoxicated because my child is already steaming like crazy. My mother cannot breathe, and I suffer from severe frequent migraines. So don't tell me that SIP panels have nothing to do with it, because if there would be just the wood and it would get wet, wouldn't happen what we have right now on our hands.
It's been 10 years since it rained on your SIP panels.
Yes, but where does it go?
10 years.
Yes, where does it go? The mold...
It evaporates.
No, it stays because foam is a seal. It's insulation material.
It evaporates. The foam doesn't hold. The foam doesn't hold moisture.
It sucks the moisture by 40%.
It doesn't hold moisture.
So then, okay, I'll use this. If it doesn't hold the moisture,
I could take the EPS and put it in a swimming pool, and it'll float on that swimming pool for years and not take in any moisture.
So then how did we get warped panels then? If it does not afraid of moisture or water or rain or nothing, why did we get... Because I have the video where every panel...
Yeah, I saw that video, and you put it on YouTube.
Yes.
Okay.
I'm going to do this again, by the way.
That wasn't foam. I think you had an agreement with the owner to take that video down.
If they could fix it, but they fixed it just to cover up.
They fixed it 10 years ago, and it's been 10 years that you've been satisfied with that, okay?
I don't know. I'm not satisfied because the rot began 2 years after this. 2 years. How much do I know about house and SIPs and everything else? The rot began 2 years ago. I mean, 2 years after completion. And that's what this is what we know, but that could start right away. We just don't know. We don't live in the crawl space.
If it's dried in, it's not going to rot.
Well, you may need to prove it in court then, because I'm looking for attorney right now. I just thought we can probably resolve it somehow in a peaceful manner, but right now...
Okay, how much money?
I don't know how much money it's going to take to rebuild the house, not to mention exposure to toxins in it. But anybody can see that the house had warped floors to begin with. The wood does not warp. If you do like trusses, if you put trusses the normal way, but we choose your product and now we're all suffering. it can go to court because I've got some leads. I'm calling you right now.
I can't. Listen, I can't talk to you anymore. If you're already threatening to go to court, you need to talk to my boss.
I'm trying to talk to somebody because God knows I don't like court procedures.
I'm not talking to you anymore.
Okay, who can I talk to then?
You can talk to Damien. He's out of town. He'll be back on Monday.
Okay, but think about maybe have a meeting, maybe, because like I said, I have all the documentation, how it was done, when it was done. It's not just your fault, no.
That was 10 years ago.
It doesn't matter. The house can...
10 years, it does matter.
The house should stay for years. The house should be living for years.
You can't have us build you a new house because your house got rained on 10 years ago when it's being built.
But the process...
He's gonna look at you and laugh.
The process started 10 years ago probably because the wet panels were installed and nobody done. And I reached out to you to come and inspect it.
10 years ago.
Doesn't matter. But we're paying for this now.
It does matter. Call back on Monday.
Okay.
Alrighty.
Bye.
Bye.